there. It's not bottoming out. What the fuck? What the fuck? Yes. Whoa, that's loose. Oh shit! It doesn't get any more Aussie than this. Big V8 motor, rear-wheel drive, a car brand that doesn't exist anymore. This one's got a little bit of special sauce. We want to hear from Chris to see what he's done to his Holden. Welcome back to another episode of MDTV, guys. Here I've got Chris. Hey mate, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, very good. Thanks for coming out on the channel, man.
Not a problem, mate, no
From
worries.
what I understand, this seems like a very special car. Can you tell us what it is, how it came to you, and what you've done to it so far?
All right, so it's a 2002 VX SS. I actually bought it off Marketplace before COVID for 3 grand.
3 grand.
I bought it for 3 grand, yeah. It didn't look as nice as it does now. It was a bit of a wreck then. Well, I wouldn't say a wreck, but it just needed some love.
So yeah, 3 grand off of Marketplace.
Yeah, 3 grand off Marketplace. Brought it home and it needed new body kit, some panel work, but the bones of the car were pretty good. Ended up putting a new body kit on it, repainted, new boot lid, repainted, a few bits and pieces, but majority of the car is still factory paint. It's had ceramic coating, everything done to it. Replaced the interior, it had the cloth red interior, now it's got the red leather, the SS red leather. Like the motor's been built, gearbox has been built, diff's been done. We can go into some details of the motor if you like, but
Yeah. So was there a reason why it was only 3K?
But what I think is it was actually going to be wrecked out. The guy that I bought it off, he advertised it and he said to me, look, if it doesn't sell, I'm just going to wreck it.
So you basically picked it up, gave it a new life?
Yes.
In stock form, how much power does it make, and why did you get rid of that to build it and, you know?
So in stock, I never actually dynoed it in complete stock form. So I dynoed it and it had an exhaust and an intake on it, and then it made 330 rear wheel horsepower. So with complete stock engine, that was just the box had a shift kit in it. It wasn't anything crazy. And then obviously, like everyone, I got the bug and I wanted more horsepower. So I got the cylinder heads done and the camshaft done, and it made 385 horsepower at the wheels.
Wow.
And now it's a 6.4 litre stroker and it makes 440 horsepower at the wheels.
That's crazy, man.
The motor I didn't build, but I pulled it in and out, done all the work at home. The engine was built by Advanced Performance Machining in Narellan. The gearbox was built by Craig's Automatics in Chipping Norton. It's got a Dominator converter in it. The diff was built by a fella in Canberra. So yeah, it's got a True Track 3.9s, billet half shafts. Yeah, so but the camshaft's not over the top, so it's still quite a nice street car.
So what does it take to bring it up to that power figure?
Well, you probably could do it without the stroker. You probably could, but I also wanted to have a nice car that I could drive, put my kids in and go for a drive with. But yeah, look, if you wanted to go a bit more radical on the camshaft, a bit more radical on the heads, you could make that power with a standard bottom end, or just forced induction.
Right, and is this still running NA or is it?
Yes,
Right.
still NA, it still runs a factory throttle body, factory intake manifold. It still runs the smaller throttle body because back-to-back dyno testing we've done, it seemed to not pick up any power going through a bigger throttle body.
And it's running completely reliably, it's making the same amount of power every time?
Yep, back-to-back every time. And it does about 440, 450 foot-pound of torque at the wheels.
That's crazy, mate. All right, so what's been done to the motor or the gearbox or anything that you've done to get it to this power figure, or what are some of the challenges that have come along the way during your modification process?
So it's a Lunardi stroker crank, forged rods, forged pistons. The original stroker, this original engine, when we first built it, it had oil issues on the dyno. We were having erratic oil pressure. So yeah, motor had to come out again, new oil pump, which was no one's fault. The oil pump just failed. New lifters, new oil pump. And then yeah, since then, it's gone flawlessly. It's had no problems. It's done 440 horsepower, which I know is, it's not a massive figure, but it does it reliably and it's been doing it now for maybe 2 years.
What was the limiting factor from the stock motor? You said it was the oil pump that let go. What else from the stock motor did you have to change in order to get up to that power band?
So the heads have been done. The heads have been ported. A small port job on the heads, valve springs. They've had about 30 thou taken off them to bring the compression up. The bottom end probably wasn't too bad, the original one in it, but I just wanted to go stroker. I just wanted more cubic inches.
And is this a strong motor by itself? Like, is it closed deck? Does it have any issues?
They're pretty strong.
They're pretty strong? Yeah.
Well, they're 6-bolt mains from factory. Yeah, they're a strong engine. It's got a 3500 stall converter in it, so it comes on about 35, a little bit under 3500 RPM. Because of the stroker, it pulls it through it no problem. So 3500, it comes on really strong, and it goes all the way to 6800. But yes, it is linear, only for the reason that I wanted it to still be have really nice street manners. Aim with this car was to put my kids in and go for a cruise. So that was why the motor's not so crazy.
And do the kids love it?
They love it.
Any other interesting bits about the motor or during your process that you'd like to point out?
Honestly, it was pretty trouble-free.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty trouble-free. Like I've had a little bit of a lifter noise, that's fixed. The oil pump, that's pretty much all that's gone wrong with it. The original camshaft and that was done in it, which is still in it. West End Performance done, perfect. Went to APM and got the bottom end built, perfect. I can't speak highly enough about those guys about the engine. And the guy that tunes it, I know I'm probably just giving a bit of a thing out here, but I can't speak highly enough of Graham for tuning the car.
What is it about, Holdens and V8s that Aussies love? Me and my friends, we love four bangers, we love Japanese cars, we love doing up, these four-cylinder cars. But as soon as you touch it, even if you look at it the wrong way, the car starts to fall apart. What about the Holden or the V8 platform, this whole platform, what about it makes it so strong or so reliable? And why do Aussies love it so much?
I think they love it so much because there's 8 cylinders there. But in saying that too, I love anything. 4-cylinder turbo, anything, it doesn't matter. It's just, this was my chosen because I've always had Holdens and I've always had V8s and I just love them. These are a very easy engine to modify. They make power really easy. They seem to accept power modifications really easy. And when you do one like this, you can have a reliable car. The gearbox was built by Craig's. The gearbox was built and the whole thing when we built that was reliability. The engine was built for reliability. I wanted to make power, but I didn't want to make the power where it just becomes a hair trigger and it breaks all the time. That was the build plan from the start.
Normally with this kind of engine, with the mods that you've done, are you kind of maxing out the mods?
No.
No, so there's still room for more.
Oh yeah. If I went bigger camshaft, bigger heads,
right,
bigger manifold, I could make more power.
Yeah, right. And then after that, what's the next step? Do people normally go supercharger,
Yes.
turbocharge? Right.
Yeah, so twin turbo, supercharged, single turbo, yeah, they do all that stuff to these.
Because it doesn't look like there's much room in the engine bay for anything else.
You can actually get low mount twin turbo kits for these where they sit down the bottom.
What kind of exhaust do you have?
1 3/4 extractors,
Yep.
4-into-1, into a twin 2.5-inch exhaust. I could probably go bigger on the exhaust, but again, I wanted to be able to use it and drive it around and take the kids out. So I didn't want it droney, I didn't want it too loud. So I'm probably losing maybe a little bit through the exhaust, but I'm happy with that.
Honestly, growing up, I've had the worst, kind of neighbors with their V8s going up and down. It just sounds like Chewbacca fighting. To me, most of the time growing up, people with V8s, they haven't done it tastefully.
Yep.
Right, to me, it just sounds loud. It just gets louder. There's no tone.
There's no note.
There's no note changing. So I'm keen to hear what you've done to it.
All right.
Alright, we're here at Power Cruise to test out the Como. What have you done to the car since we last filmed there?
I've changed the camshaft, put a bigger camshaft in it.
Yeah. And does that increase the horsepower as well?
It got it to about 450 rear wheel horsepower. So
you could feel it, the car vibrating because of the calves. Whoa, that's loose. Oh shit!
yeah, so it grips up pretty good on these wheels.
And is it easy for this to flick out?
Probably.
Probably.
I can't drift for shit, so I won't try
Yeah,
it.
right. Oh shit. We are on a racetrack, so the roads are pretty smooth, but this car is set up pretty nicely with the coilovers or whatever you've.
It actually, it's pretty smooth, yeah.
Yeah.
It squats a fair bit.
Oh, does it?
To hook up. Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, it's still fairly stiff.
Yeah, right. It doesn't feel like it though. The chassis, it's a nice, comfortable cruiser. Oh.
Doesn't like that third gear.
And it sounds a lot louder on the outside
Yes.
than it does on the inside.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet on the inside.
Yeah. So I love the power band on this. It's nicely tuned. It comes
It's-
on and it just stays on. It pulls in a very linear fashion.
It's
bro.
very linear.
Yeah.
But
How's the auto box on this? Is it strong?
it's been built, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. Do you notice any slipping or?
No, not really.
No.
No, it's pretty good. But yeah, glad you come out and you can actually see
Oh yeah, dude.
how different it is.
It's so different to anything I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
And the thing with NA, especially the V8s, is the power band.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly, like growing up, I'm not too much of a fan of V8s because I live in Bankstown.
Yeah.
All the V8s you hear, it just gets louder. There's no change in the tone. It's quite obnoxious, but in your car, it's done pretty well, dude.
Thank you, mate. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
No, I clearly I honestly am.
That's why I wanted you to come out and
Yeah,
see
dude.
it for yourself.
Yeah, but I'm so surprised by the way the suspension is handling.
Yeah.
It's soaking it up and it's holding the car there. It's not bottoming out. What the fuck? What the fuck? Dude, you don't experience this on any other kind of track day or track event, bro.
Well, you know what, man? Now maybe
Oh, dude.
you're a V8 convert now.
Yeah, dude.
Seriously. I hope you had
Oh,
fun.
no. Definitely did. Thanks, bro. Thanks for taking me out on
No,
track.
no problem, man. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, man, this is so completely different to what I'm normally used to.
Really?
Yeah, normally used to like four-wheel drive, maximum grip, heaps of aero, heaps of G-forces around the corner. This is all fun, bro. No one cares about anything, man.
Well, the best part is now you know your first Aussie car, then you can start
it,
doing
dude.
more Aussie stuff.
Yeah, dude, gotta grow up my mullet. A can of BB in my hand, bro.
You got to get a singlet.
Yeah, dude.
Man, I hope you had fun.
Definitely did. Thanks for taking me out on track, bro.
Not a problem, mate. No
Thanks
problem.
for coming out on the channel.
No worries, man. Thank you for having me.
See you guys in the next episode.